This is a four-voice deposition at 160 words per minute. I'm the examining attorney for the plaintiff, Mr. Murphy, M-U-R-P-H-Y.
I am the witness, Mr. Parker, P-A-R-K-E-R.
I am for defense number 2, Mr. McCloskey, M-C, capital C-L-O-S-K-Y.
I am the defense number 1, Mr. Hibber, H-I-B-E-R.
Ready? Begin. At any time since February 2nd, 2007, did you make any tests or see anyone else make any tests of that corridor floor that we have been speaking about?
We will object to the question as not being material. It is too indefinite as to a period of time extending from February 1, 2007, which is immaterial under the pleadings.
We will find out later if it is. If he says no, he didn't, then that stops it. If he says yes,
I will object to the question as it is presently framed on the ground it is immaterial, and I instruct the witness not to answer.
Now, during the month after February 2nd, 2007, did you yourself ever make any tests of that corridor floor?
I will object to the question on the ground it is not material, and instruct the witness not to answer. You refuse to answer the question on the advice of counsel.
I will ask the reporter to instruct the witness to answer the question.
Refuse to answer on the advice of counsel.
Do you refuse to answer?
Yes, I do.
On the advice of counsel, is that right?
On the advice of counsel.
May it be stipulated that
I will stipulate that all formalities as to certification of the question have been satisfied, and that the code limitation on the amount of time within the citation must be issued is waived.
And may we also stipulate it may be deemed that the reporter has instructed the witness to answer all questions which you instruct him not to answer?
No, that's not it. Let's stick to the one. I don't have that good of a recollection. I don't remember the instruction at this time, so I won't enter into that stipulation.
I will stipulate to the stipulation that has been made.
Did you ever see any test made on that corridor floor surface during the month after February 2nd, 2007?
Object to the question upon the ground there is no sufficient foundation, and also upon the ground the question asked for an immaterial matter, and I instruct the witness not to answer the question on advice of counsel.
May it be stipulated that all of the questions you instruct the witness not to answer in regard to the test I am questioning him on, that he refuses to answer on your advice, and it may be deemed that the reporter has instructed him to answer all of those questions?
As to all future questions, it is so stipulated.
Counsel, do you accept the stipulation?
So stipulated.
At any time, while the same surface was on the floor of that corridor we are speaking about, and subsequent to February 2nd, 2007, were any tests made on the surface of the floor to your knowledge?
We will object to the question upon the ground there is no sufficient foundation. Also upon the ground it asks for immaterial matter. I instruct the witness not to answer on the advice of counsel.
May we have the same stipulation?
The same stipulation, yes.
The same stipulation, so stipulated. I will join in that objection.
Will you join in the stipulation?
Yes, I joined in the stipulation before I objected. I think that one goes too far.
Off the record.
During the month following February 1st, 2007, to your knowledge, were there any tests made by you or any other persons on the corridor floor that we have been speaking about?
No.
Wait until I object to the questions, Mr. Parker, please. I will object to the question upon the grounds that the question is immaterial and is not based upon sufficient foundation, and I instruct the witness not to answer on advice of counsel.
Now we may have our stipulation that the witness has refused to answer on your advice, and it may be deemed that the reporter has instructed him to answer the question?
Yes, take your time on the answers, Mr. Parker.
So stipulated.
On February 2nd, 2007, did you go to the same corridor floor?
February 2nd of 2007?
Yes.
Yes, I buffed the corridor.
What time of the day were you on that floor in that corridor?
That is on a Friday
Yes.
between 6:30 and 7.
And did you make any tests or see anyone make any tests of that corridor floor before you did anything to the floor, before buffing it or any other thing, before 6 or 7 o'clock?
First, will you reread the question, please?
I will reframe the question.
Could you reframe it? It is compound.
I will reframe it. Before you did anything to that corridor floor before February 2nd, 2007, to your knowledge, did you or any other person make any test of that floor?
No.
And on the night of February 2nd, 2007, you merely buffed it? You didn't wax it?
Yes.
Is that right?
I buffed it.
You didn't wax it?
No.
And to your knowledge, no one else waxed it that night?
No, not to my knowledge.
And to your knowledge, during the next week after February 2nd, 2007, was that corridor floor waxed?
We will object to the question as not being material. It is dealing with the period after the accident in this case allegedly occurred.
I will state the materiality as I see it, counsel. If anyone from the clients you represent has made the test subsequent to February 1st, 2007, I am trying to find out if the floor was worked on or changed in any respect between the night of February 1st, 2007 and the time of the test.
Well, the accident allegedly occurred on February 2, 2007, as I read the complaint, and unless you limit your question to a period including that date or before, I will have to object to the question.
Then you take the position that it would be immaterial whether you made the test. That would be just about the same because one of the things to determine in the test is whether the floor has been changed or not. If it is immaterial now, it would be immaterial then.
What is the question that we are talking about?
I'm trying to find out if there was anything done to that floor during the week after this accident.
It is immaterial. I will object to it.
It is immaterial.
Then, if there was any test made subsequent to that, then we take the position that the changing of the floor in between the night of the accident and the time of the test would not be material.
I don't know what assumption you are making as to any position the defendant in this case may have. However, for the purpose of the record, we will object to the questions as they are asked in accordance with our understanding as to the way the pleadings in this case have been framed.
May we have the same stipulation with this as we had to the other question?
The same stipulation.
So stipulated.
To your knowledge, Mr. Parker, have there been any tests made on that corridor floor, the one that we have been referring to since February 2nd, 2007, when the floor was in the same condition as it was on the date of February 2nd, 2007?
We will object to the question as being too indefinite and too uncertain.
I will join in the objection and on the further ground that it has been asked and answered.
Do we have the same stipulation as to his refusal to answer and being instructed?
So stipulated.
So stipulated.